it's very important that all of you are aware of the history of NSD and the background of it in a way to really appreciate or understand where it comes from and why the Scholar program has been created and what is the purpose of us doing this from last 10 years. So I'll just share my screen and share these insights with all of you just a moment. All right, so this basically is just to give you an understanding of where we come from. It's very important because now you're part of the database, and it's very essential for you to understand how it has started and what is the reason for that. So first of all, the main purpose of the database has been to identify very credible and trustworthy information security experts who can protect the Indian cyberspace. Now, so far the empanelment has been restricted to Indian citizens, but this year we are opening this to international citizens also, because cyberspace is one area where it has no borders, and there are people who contribute internationally as a community to this particular subject, and definitely everybody can benefit from such a kind of a database, not just India. So to give a brief timeline, it all actually began in the year 1998. It's almost 22 years back when we started a group called Innovative Ethical Hackers Association. They were loosely formed associations of all hackers in India to counter the Pakistani hacking groups at that point of time. And so Mumbai hackers, Calcutta hackers, you had so many other various groups. Each of them had more than 6,000 members across India, each groups. So this association was created by us, and when a lot of people joined, then it became a very formidable group in that year. As the group became stronger and stronger in the year 2005, a formal request was given by NTRO at that point of time to give a training on ethical hacking to them. And we formed a company called Orchid 7 and a certification called H3X. Now, Hex, if you all know, is also H3X is also referred as the goddess of hacking. If you don't are not aware of this, H3X symbolizes the goddess of hacking, and the certification was called H3X because we wanted to respect and pay our tribute to the beautiful world of hacking. And this certification was one of the first in kinds which had lab exams at that point of time. And there was another program called EC Council CEH, which became very popular during that point of time. And we were very upset with the fact that there was an online exam to declare hackers as certified ethical hackers, and which is when this STX program was created to just set up lab exams for it. Now, in the year 2009, just when the Mumbai attacks had happened, during this, just after that, the a young person, Shantanu Gavde, became India's youngest hacker at that point of time, and was facilitated by both Abdul Kalam and Pratibha Patil. And these are some news clippings of that. Now, when he was awarded by the presidents at that point of time, there was a person, Mr. M.S. Vijayaraghavan, who was working with Mr. Abdul Kalam in his team. And post this particular discussions and his appraisal of the STX program and the Ethical Hacker Association, he recommended that this group should be created within India as a formal structure, and it should not be a loosely held hackers group. And he joined as an advisor to NTRO at that point of time, working with Abdul Kalam, and he proposed this database to be formed. It was his brainchild, where he said, okay, why don't you form a formal database? And in 2010, we signed a MOU and with NTRO, and formal operations started with them using this database. This is because this is a closed group. I'm sharing this very openly, that the first operations under MI started using this group. There were key community leaders from Malcon, Nelcon, Cocoon, Clubhack. All the founders joined together, and under the ISAC, the NSD was created, and it was launched by Sachin Pilot. At that point of time, was IT Minister. In the next year, Certain, who under the leadership of Gulshan Rai, formally extended support to NSD, and certain security operations from 2012 started for defending Indian cyberspace under NTRO. Now, in 2012, it was a groundbreaking year for us when the US Army adopted the approach for exams for certifications internally using the NSD's proprietary method of evaluating people. And in 2012, the US Black Hat, they bought over Malcon under UBM, which I was running. In 2010, I started this event, and it became part of UBM formally in 2012. And in 2012, the CIA formally proposed to NTRO to move the interception for Skype, which was created by our team, to be given to US for a license of $2 million. And the condition was to move ISAC to US and seize NSD operations in India. Of course, we were not comfortable with that idea, so we didn't go ahead with it. Then we proposed creating a large hackers conference called the Ground Zero Summit. I don't know how many of you were actually aware of this, but this was started in 2013, and 5 other conference heads. Even today, we continue to do our own independent events, like Cocoon still continues, Nalcon still continues. Clubhack obviously is no longer operational now. So 2013, this event, all 5 people combined to start Ground Zero Summit. And then the US Black Hat proposed that why don't we at least sponsor it if nothing else. So in 2014, the Ground Zero Summit was taken to Sri Lanka, and profiling of international hackers started under the project. And in 2015, finally, it was agreed that UBM would be allowed to sponsor Ground Zero Summit. Now, the big problem was that how do we rate people who are working for the community? How do we rate hackers, because they are double-edged swords? So a program called Clean Exit on Ethics was launched as a pilot to rate the developers and the hackers at that time. And the first Scholar program was actually piloted as the NSD Fellowship in OP Jindal University along with NTRO to counter the influence of the Chevening scholarship from the UK government, because a whole lot of scholars who go for Chevening, there has been a great effort by the UK, and we really appreciate the way the Chevening program has been structured. We really love the way in which they have taken the initiative, and definitely while it mandates and focuses on making the UK government having a soft approach in all the countries where its business interest is protected, it was very important that not everybody is sold off to such kind of a concept. And for us, it was very bothersome that someone who has ruled India for so many years, and people are joining the scholarships left and right without giving a second thought to the soft implications of it. The Scholar program was created as a counter program to ensure that the Indian CISOs also have an equal footing and same quality knowledge, if not better, in a way in which we can do something like that. So with NTRO, the pilot started in Open University, and the first formal attempt was made to identify the guardians across all the CIIs. And 2017 onwards, certain categories of NSD started becoming open as a database, which means that anybody could access the database and see the scholars or the people behind it. Formally in 2018, the Tata Group has been very generous with ISAC, and they sponsored more than 2.5 crores year on year to just conduct the Defender Flag series, and they gave us the access to the entire Taj group of hotels across India at a very nominal price. In fact, it was literally free for us, where we could host these events for the sake of the CISOs to be trained in critical activities of how to do the tendering in the right manner, how to not give away to vendors outside the country in a manner which will compromise the security. And all the series in Defender Flag series was started in collaboration with NCIPC. Eventually, it became part of Certain also, where Certain did a lot of events with us in Defender Flag series. 2020, formally, this was the fellowship program was renamed as the Scholar Program, and this was launched with MDI Gurgaon, the first cohort, formally after the pilot. The second cohort was launched with NCIPC, and the third was launched with RRU. Now we are launching the Lancer category again to identify the meaningful contributors. Lancer has a historical significance. The Lancer word, obviously, they were critical. They were part of the Mysore Maharaja's palace, and this particular word has a significance over there, and it also has a connection with Israel in terms of liberating them during the Haifa war. So along with the Karnataka government, we have entered into collaboration to start the Lancer category in Karnataka. Specifically, it will extend to all the scholars, to all the NSD categories, but it's a new category which has started. Now, there are various certifications from ISAC, which we do as a professional program, and it's a first certification from the cybersecurity certifications from India. It's a Made in India program, and we try to make sure that we are no less than the global certification programs. In fact, we make sure that we work a little more harder, because we know that a lot of people will scrutinize us with more depth. So, sorry about that. So here, there are certain certification programs that we conduct, and these programs are something that are in line with the international business requirements. So there are various categories like offensive security, forensics, industrial security, management, and intervention, which we conduct. And based on certain categories, the database has certain levels. Like The intervention officers, for all of you who have done the CCI program, it's a program which is responsible to support the lowest of the state levels for reducing cyber crimes. Cadets are those categories of people who have passed a theory exam. It is similar to the EC Council, CH, or any online exam that people do internationally. But those are cadets for us, junior resources who can work in cybersecurity but are not dependent for hands-on hardcore activities. Falcons are very technical people. They have passed a 24-hour lab exam or more. They are very competent in executing very specific cybersecurity activities, and they are very special people within NSD. The Guardians are people with 5+ years of experience. Lancers, again, this year we're going to launch for experts in outstanding contribution to the country in cybersecurity. They'll be awarded with the Lancer category. The Scholars are senior leadership programs. It's a program for senior leadership who are responsible to manage and drive cybersecurity initiatives at any level within their organizations or for the country also. Right now, for all Falcons who are required to operate, there is a mandatory security clearance which they have to take by passing a psychometric testing. And this psychometric testing will check for a lot of activities about their personalities, including what kind of people they are. Are they pretending to be a good people, but they are not in depth? Can they break under bribe? All these parameters are checked for every single NSG professional who comes under this particular category. And then a report is created for the management so that they can understand at what level this person is and can they be trusted with sensitive security operations or not. And this becomes a part of the NSD's reporting before they are given some confidential assignments. Now, this is used by a lot of companies as a strategy for hiring very senior people in cybersecurity and take it forward. Again, the certification process for technical exams is very different. They have to undergo a certain research work and an online exam, followed by a lab exam and a psychometric test before they are awarded the Falcon category. So these are again, categories of security clearances that we provide internally. From last 10 years, it has matured. For example, those who get the level 0 credibility, they get to work with police stations for cybercrime cases. Those with L1 category are allowed to work with state intelligence agencies. Those with L2 can work for intelligence agencies and can be, assigned sensitive operations. L3 and L4 are again more serious programs, and they need psychometric testing for every assignments, and a reference is required before they are engaged for operations. Now, these are the clearance levels that the internally is awarded to the NSG professionals before they are engaged on any sensitive projects, right? Again, these are some these are confidential MOUs that we have, like one with NTRO or with certain. Now, moving forward, this Clean Exit program is another beautiful project that enhances the credibility of the NSG professionals. So this is a kind of a rating sheet. It's like a CIBIL score for the cybersecurity engineers in your company. Any kind of ethical violations can be reported by the senior management, and they get a CIBIL-like scoring, where under 500 marks if they get, then automatically their job opportunities are reduced. We inform a lot of companies and we collaborate with them to make sure that people with low scores don't get critical roles, right? So it's a very mature process that has been that has been developed over the years. And the beautiful part is that every engineer who from NSD who goes to work in a company is given a financial guarantee of 1 lakh rupees to 5 lakh rupees from ISAC Foundation to that company. For example, if an IBM picks up a guy under NSD, then they are given a credit of 1 lakh to 5 lakh rupees as a financial guarantee from ISAC, which means that tomorrow if IBM reports that this guy has engaged in an ethical violation and it has been a problem for me because he has done an activity which has resulted in a financial loss to me, then that money to that company will be paid by ISAC because the NSD professional did some mistake over there. Now, how do we do it? We are backed by Oriental Insurance for this, and we have a back-to-back agreement with the insurance company, and this is a very unique program and the only one in the world which has this kind of arrangement for this. So again, we have some collaborations, and this is what overall the NSD does. What I would like to share is the list of programs that are there under the NSD. These are the 26 different certifications that we have. We would love to share this with all of you, and definitely we will need a lot of help in ensuring that these programs are promoted and are well known in the community also. For example, here you can see here that if you see the pen tester program here,
Your slide is not visible, Raj.
it's not visible. Okay, I'm sorry. I think I switched the screen sharing and then it got, once again. Is it visible now?
Yes, we can see that.
Yeah. So the pen tester program, if you see here, the theory exam for pen tester is equivalent to the industry standard of EC Council, where you have an MCQ based test. However, the lab exam that we do for 24 hours, there is only one company in the world which does something similar. In fact, the pen testing from NSD for lab exam is even better than this company. It is offensive security, which is the OSCP certification, and the PEN 300 program, which is offered by the offensive security team. They're the only company in the world which does something very close to NSD's program. But for all of the programs, apart from pen testing and one in SOC analysis, all the other exams from NSD for labs, there is no other company in the world which does the lab exams similar to what the NSD exams do. For example, the Scholar program, almost 60% of the syllabus is more or less, covered under CISSP to a certain level. But the Scholar program dwells more, it's more current and more emerging. Of course, the role of CISSP is a little different, but the syllabus more or less is touching upon to what scholars undergo in the domain knowledge specifically, right? But there is no lab equivalent for it or the hands-on industry visits that we provide. And the same way, we have certain unique programs which are focused on sector specific, like the aviation security, for example. These are very unique programs which are not there, but are designed by ISAC to address the problems in that domains specifically. So what we definitely would request the scholars, the last slide which I'll share from my side is that since you're part of this community today, we definitely would need a whole lot of support in the visibility of the NSD certifications from all of you. We don't have the kind of the budget that large US companies have in promoting the certifications in a very big way worldwide. But still, we feel that with the right support from people like you, we will be in a position to at least make people more aware of the quality of the exams and the certification process. And we request that if you're handling jobs in your company, at least if you're putting a job description for hiring, if you're putting a CEH, EC Council in your job description for hiring, we would definitely request you to also put NSD equivalent certifications along with it, so that at least the people who pursue the career from an Indian certification get an opportunity to also apply for the same jobs and become part of the ecosystem. We would also request if you can look at the Clean Exit program as part of a company culture, which means that if you're hiring developers, if you're hiring regular people, if you're hiring security researchers, at least please put them on the Clean Exit ethics program and take advantage of the financial guarantee that we provide. Make it part of your company culture. It's a very unique program and there is nothing like this elsewhere in the world. Definitely, it will be a value addition to your company. We definitely would request also you to consider use of the virtual labs for upskilling your cybersecurity teams. And if you're paying a lot of money for certifications outside and expecting them to clear an online MCQ based 50 questions or 100 questions on a prometric testing center and expecting them to perform job operations, I would definitely recommend that you will be much better off with having your new recruits having the skills of virtual labs with hands-on practicals and bundled certifications for their careers. And because we issue the certifications for companies who have a separate plan, for example, if you're hiring 10 engineers in pen testing, you can sponsor their certifications, and if they leave the company within 1 year, you can also revoke it by collaborating with ISAC, which means that they are motivated to continue working with your company for at least a year or 18 months before they switch their careers. So there are some value adds that we can provide as a foundation to motivate people to be retained in the company and also upskill them in a better manner. Also, as a scholar, we would definitely humbly request all of you that you all have a fantastic network and have fantastic thought process. So if you can extend your network to facilitate the CSR funding and help us to make the reach of our programs better, or also supporting the enhancement of the Scholar program by setting up industry visits. For example, today we have a collaboration with our esteemed partner, GMR. They have been very kind to support us for the airport visit. And similarly, for the power plant visit, and we will also be doing a data center visit with support of Tata Communications very soon. However, any more visits from the scholars to extend and benefit the other future scholars, it will be a great help from all of you. So with this, I'll just end my session. If you have any thoughts on what I just shared and what I just discussed, please feel free to openly share it. So we'll be very happy to take the feedback and we'll seriously work on it to improve what we have been doing so far. Thank you. Thank you so much.